Thank you so much for joining us here at Indigo Moon. Is there a lesson that we're still learning? You know, the Bible speaks in Psalm 1 about this very lesson. You know, talking about the sinner and how we sometimes will block another person's experience because we don't want them to have that pain. So we end up taking the fault. But God really wanted that person to learn the lesson. You stood in the way of that person receiving that lesson. So now you will suffer what they were supposed to suffer. It's almost like me telling my brother, Joe put chocolate on the dishes and he ran the soap water and now the dishes are all chocolatey. Well, because you told on him, now you get to wash those dishes. And you cry, you stomp out of the room. Now, you know, some of this stomping is not going to be allowed in certain people's homes, let's just be honest. So that stomping came to a halt once you heard that last word coming out of your mom's mouth. So you go into that kitchen and you wash those dishes quietly. You might cry a little bit, but you know that if you do too much noise making, she's going to come in and she's going to show you what crying is all about, okay? So you make the better choice at that point in time, you know? I remember another time my oldest brother asked me to come and to help him with something. And I went and I followed suit because I was trying to help him. I ended up getting into a car accident with my red BMW. The funny thing is when I got into that accident, my car didn't end up getting a scratch on it. You see, it was a 1998 BMW red with a T-top with, you know, it had the open window on the top, leather seats, heated seats. Oh, I love that vehicle. But at the same time, I was loving the experience. I had someone change a tire for me, and the tire came off while I was driving down a hill. And the people in the neighborhood came out and helped me, made tea, and we made a party out of it while someone came and repaired that tire. Somehow I forgot, I could not make it back to the people because I somehow got lost trying to find them, to thank them. God grants many lessons, and with those lessons comes a blessing out of the whole situation. A woman decides that she's going to protect her daughter through everything. So her daughter doesn't have any experiences where she can actually share. She sees her sister on a platform and she gets upset because she watches her sister tell these stories and she doesn't have the same stories. She doesn't have the same stories because she was protected through it. Her older sister also protected her through certain things. So with everyone protecting you through all these different circumstances, you don't get to learn life. The older sister and the mother has to suffer behind the decisions that they made, because the person ends up being a spoiled person. They're spoiled because they think everything's going to come to them, and they don't have the experience, so they lack the structure, the know-how, and the ability to wait for the things that they want. So they want things immediately, and now the husband has to suffer behind this person wanting things, material things. This person is torturing their husband because they don't have everything that they want. A spoiled brat. But the spoiled brat was once a child. Now they grew up so fast, and the spoiled behavior now becomes an adult in a spoiled woman's body. You know, it takes a long time sometimes for some of my materials to come out. I don't know what's going on, whereas my materials seem to take a longer period of time to be shown to you sometimes. And I do believe that sometimes that might be God's way of teaching me more patience. Because eventually when the video comes out, people get to watch it. We all have a job to do. God gave us all, a job to do. Your job might be to wash those windows and to wash them so that people can see their reflection through it. Your job might be to garden. Your job might be to be a plumber. Whatever the job is, make sure that you're exercising sincerity in what it is that you're doing. The minute you do something that's wrong on that job, God sees it. And the backfire sometimes can be something that is a tremendous experience that you don't want to relive. You wouldn't even want your favorite enemy, if you had one, to have those experiences. But people don't always see what they're doing as bad. They don't always care that another person might have to suffer the consequences of their actions. We all have a journey to go through in this lifetime, all of us. And so your story might not be the same as the next person's story, but you still have a story. You have history, child. You have history. Your history is in knowing that God is walking you through this journey. Your experience is knowing that even when the person is right in front of you doing something that you would never imagine another person doing against you, this experience sometimes God will allow to happen to make you stronger, resilient even. We all are going to have to take the journey. So try not to stand in the way of the lesson, or it would be a blessing for the next person in some cases. You know by the feeling and the experience that you have that you're making the right decision. You know by saying a silent prayer. That's how you can help that next person. You can say a prayer for them, that they get through that experience. Because there are a great deal of people, judges, lawyers, doctors, dentists, dental assistants, who made these decisions based upon $1 going into their pockets. But they did not realize that when they were making these decisions, these choices, that their own families would suffer through the response, the experience of it all. Remember that although your brother or your sister might suffer many experiences, you have to pray on their part, just to let God know that you would like it very much for them to get through the experience in the end. Thank you so much for joining us here at Indigo Moon. Thank you.